Hi there, I'm Aubrey and I'm 23. Like, the strangest thing totally happened to me and I'm still tripping about it. The best way to say it is that I met my other husband. Go ahead and like and subscribe to hear more stories like this one. Okay, so you're probably thinking, yeah right, this lady's out of her mind. But I don't think what happened to me was an accident in the cosmic sense of things. It all started with a ladies' night out. See, I needed a break from my husband, Frank, who was driving me crazy with this business he was trying to open. Frank worked as a bank teller during the day, and it was helping keep the lights on. But he was turning our home into a mask factory by night. And I was getting dizzy from all the rubber and plaster, and every time I'd turn around, I'd be getting scared by some ghost face or something. Frank wanted to open his own Halloween mask store. He was going to call it Masks by Frank. I didn't think it was that great of an idea, and the more obsessed he got with it, the more I was starting to think I couldn't live with it. Or him. I mean, it's not like Frank wanted to live in a mask factory when we met. Before, Frank was so social. He was really popular in school, which is where we met. And he saw himself going into business or real estate or something, I don't know, normal? I'm an airline stewardess myself, and when I get home, I like to relax. But living with the boogeyman gave me less and less time to find peace. And Frank never wanted to go out anymore either. When we first started dating, he'd take me out all the time. But now, he pretty much ate fast food while he was working on the masks, and I ate dinner alone. I guess that's what I get for marrying young. My mom always said that I should give myself options. But I just jumped from my first boyfriend, Chaz, to Frank. And boy, I'm telling you, those two couldn't be more opposite. I found myself wondering about Chaz more and more over the years. One time, I found him on social media. When I looked at his profile, I started to wish that I had married him. Chaz used to be so much fun. He was the kind of guy that never took life too seriously. He said it should be an adventure, like following a flashlight through the darkness, where you never know where the turns would take you or what to expect. Chaz was romantic that way. My life sure wasn't much of an adventure these days. It pretty much consisted of eating tacos and watching Frank talk to his stupid zombie heads like he was Bob Ross. So anywho, back to this ladies' night I was having. I needed to get out. So I called two of my besties and I met up with them downtown one night. Kimberly knew the manager of this ritzy restaurant and club, and we had a ball laughing about old times and making plans for new ones. After a few hours, the girls called it a night. But I was having such a good time, I didn't want it to end. I guess I had a little bit too much to drink because I ended up messaging Chaz online. I told him I was just saying hey, but he asked me to meet up next week. I was too scared to write back. I didn't know what to say. I mean, I did. More than anything, I wanted to see Chaz again. But I couldn't do that to Frank. That wouldn't be right. But maybe we could just meet and it would be harmless. A coffee, just to catch up, for old time's sakes, right? But what if Frank found out? How would I explain it? So I didn't write anything. Yet. I figured I should go home and I called an Uber. But I was so tired that on the way home, I fell asleep. We were already parked when I heard the Uber guy telling me that we had arrived. It was daylight by the time I had opened my eyes. But when I stepped out of the car, I realized we were at the wrong house. I lived in a 3-bedroom, and this was a mobile home. I told the Uber guy that he had the wrong address. I repeated it again, 5225 Maple, but the guide kept saying that's where we were. I tried to protest, but he called me crazy and drove off. I tried to check my phone, but it wasn't working. I didn't even recognize where I was, and I was starting to wonder how long I had been asleep. I figured I would ask whoever lived there to use their phone, but when I knocked on the door, Chaz opened it. What was he doing here? I thought. But before I could say anything, he asked me why I was knocking when I could just use the key. Nothing was making sense, but Chaz was right. My key did fit the lock. That's when I knew something was terribly wrong. This wasn't my house. But everything else seemed to fit. My key, my address, and now Chaz. On the wall, I saw wedding photos of us, and I immediately remembered myself wishing I had married him instead of Frank. I asked Chaz what day it was. He told me it was a Monday afternoon, and I suddenly panicked. I was late for work, and I asked to use the shower. Chaz just laughed and said I didn't have to go to work until the midnight shift. And when I powered up my phone, there were no contacts saved at all. I thought I would wake up any minute, but I didn't. I tried to force it and take a nap. But when I woke up, I was still there. Chaz was telling me I had to get ready for work. I worked at this really tacky diner, and I was wondering what Chaz did for a living. When I asked, he said that working wasn't really his style. Apparently, it got in the way of all his adventuring. I was starting to think I was in a dream or an alternate dimension or something, but I kept waking up there. After a while, I started to accept my new reality. Chaz never did anything around the house. Sometimes I'd pull a double shift and come home to a note saying he went for an adventure, while I was working and wouldn't be back for a couple of days. When he'd finally return, our bank account would be drained, and I'd have to work overtime at the diner to keep up with the bills. I was starting to think about Frank. Maybe I could find him out there. I thought it would be impossible to track him down. But when I looked him up online, he was really popular and easy to find. And so was Masks by Frank, his company. I found out where his workshop was, and I showed up one day. I didn't know what to expect, but he recognized me. He was so warm and loving when he hugged me, and I realized how much I missed him. When he told me that he always wondered about me, I told him everything. I just blurted it out, and I didn't even think about how I would sound. His new wife was actually standing behind me. I didn't even realize he was married, let alone that they worked together. But apparently, they had Halloween masks in common and built the business together. But she heard every word I said. Before I knew it, this woman, who was married to my husband, was telling me to stay away and calling me a home wrecker. But it was my home that had been wrecked. I was right. Chaz was the opposite of Frank. He might have been worth a few laughs, but he was the laziest guy I could imagine. Meanwhile, Frank was working hard and making his dreams come to life. I was lucky to be with Frank before, but now I was stuck with Chaz. Be careful what you wish for out there, because sometimes it comes true in the strangest way possible. Sure, it's easy for the grass to be greener on the other side, but make sure that you pay attention to what you have. That night, in the trailer, next to Chaz's loud snoring, I wished upon a star that Frank was as happy as I was miserable. And when I woke up, well, you probably know, I was in that Uber car, and I was parked in front of my house. Most people say it was just a dream, but I don't know. It felt pretty real to me, and it left me with this great sense of appreciation for my life. I hit Chaz back up on social media and told him that I was happily married. and I decided to start supporting Frank's dreams. Turns out, they're my dreams too. What are your dreams and wishes? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories. Remember, when you share our stories, you're sharing wisdom.